Hello, Fox of. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. We're about to have some fucking fun with this one today. How y'all doing tonight? There we go. There's one. We'll hide that one for now. Yeah, I think that's all what we're here for. I'm doing okay. I put a stupid amount of work into this stuff today. Compy, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. So I got a couple more pieces to put together. And then we'll get right into it. This one actually should not be too long. I actually did all of the work in a pre-stream thing. Like I streamed this morning to make sure that I got my shit together. And then I wrote all the shit out, did everything I needed to do. So I'll wait until the 5-minute mark and then we'll go straight into it. I'll highlight it at A1 and we'll just go straight down the list. Then I'll get you over to my slides where I did all of my shit. I'll explain kind of why I went with the direction that I went with and everything like that. I got a lot of shit to upload tonight. I got like 3 weeks of Type Lumina League matches to do. I also played my week 6 matchup already. We're already coming toward the last week of the season. So playoffs are going to be starting after Climax of Night more than likely. So look forward to that as well. I don't know if we're going to try to do that in a day or if we're going to do it weekly like we did before. I think I'll try to get it done in a day as much as possible. But that's neither here nor there. This is not what you're here for. We'll give it one more minute, let people fill on in, and we'll get some curse stuff going. So I'll also mention ahead of time, you guys can't call me biased for my teammate. I'll spoil it. I'm not picking Fox of 42 to win Climax of Night Type 4. He is not my pick. Now, I want Foxov to win, but this time I decided to go a little spicier. There's a lot of things up in the air. This is the first time a lot of us are really going to be able to play each other at a high level. So there's going to be a lot of stuff to have fun with this week. Next weekend, rather, not this weekend. So, there's a little bit of the bait, tossed out for you. Foxov is not my pick to win this tournament. But maybe I'll reverse curse like I reverse cursed myself against Silent. That is biased, huh? Because I'm not cursing him. I should have just said he was winning the tournament. I can't win. I'm biased if I pick him. I'm biased if I don't pick him. You know, it's rough. Anyway, we're going to go straight into it with Pool A1. Of course, this is the pool that Red Blade's in. We got Red Blade, Suna, Rydo, Akimi, Araway, Swirly Glasses, and Cow. Those are all the... Casual Breloom I'm familiar with as well, of course. On the upper part of the bracket, I expect Suna to get to winner semis, but I don't have too much of a chance for him to beat Red Blade. So Red Blade will be moving into winners finals in my pick here. Rydo will dispatch Casual Breloom, and then the next set, I think all three, both of these matchups are probably pretty interesting. Araway has improved quite a lot. Yeah, Red Blade is casual at this tournament. Perhaps showcasing his mood about competing going into this. But Akimi Araway should be pretty interesting. Last I remember, Araway was playing Hilda. I don't know how much matchup experience Akimi has, but Akimi was at one point my pick to be the best Mika in the country, with Bolt Strike effectively retired. But I've heard a lot of strong rumblings from Oradude, so that'll be really interesting. But I'm going to pick Akimi here, and then Swirly Glasses also from Texas versus Cow. Last I heard from Silent, Swirly wasn't really playing too much. That's also Hilda Yuzu. Anything can happen in this one. That's a really, really intriguing matchup. But I'm going to pick Cow in this one, leading us to Aki versus Cow. I don't know how much Mika experience Cow has, but I would say that Aki is the seasoned player here, so I think I'm picking Aki. That leads us to Aki versus Rydo. Now, most of us know Rydo for his Gordeau, but I believe that Rydo has tried to make the effective switch to Landrakia. Yeah, that's what I think too, Vesperio. I'm going to pick Rydo here, even though I think Mika does probably well against Landrakia. I don't know if there is a Land in that area, maybe Stang, that Aki might have gotten some experience against. I don't think Aki likes to net play, so I'm going to give the nod to Rydo here, with Red coming out in winners. So I think Aki will continue on and win through losers. Although, my boy here, Suna, I'm hoping that he actually comes out of this, but I've picked Aki to come out of losers in this one. We'll go ahead and move to A2. This one is the most violent pool in the entire tournament. This one is fucking crazy. So we got Trill up top, we got Isaac, Schwuck is from, I think, if I remember right, Schwuck is an Eltnum from Seattle. Unicure player, I don't know if they're playing Eltnum or if they're playing Wagner. Javi's a pretty good up-and-coming Wagner as well. And then we got Oradude. Oradude. Yeah, I know you have a lot of experience against Mika as well, Rydo. This one is crazy. This one, I think Uniclear player gets to winner semis against Oradude, and I hope that, both of these, I want winner semis to be shown for both of these. These are insane. Trill Isaac, Oradude, and Uniclear player. So for those of you who didn't know, and I didn't know it too well either, Oradude had beaten Knots. And so if Uniclear player decides to play Wagner, and I thought his Wagner was pretty good. There's a lot of experience on that side. Online, there are quite a lot of Eltnums too, but I don't think that there are too many Eltnums like Shaq. On the flip side, though, I don't know how much Mika experience that Shaq has. His reactions are good if he's playing. He has strong damage output. He knows how to take a chance. That one's a toss-up. Eltnum Mika, good matchup for Eltnum. I'm not even sure, but I could I believe it. I believe it. But like that's gonna be a crazy one, and that's entirely predicated on if Shaq is, or excuse me, Uniclear player is up to speed. If he's up to speed, I think he's ready for it. If he's not, he might get run over. But on the top side, Trill versus Isaac. I was talking to Gosuda about this actually a little earlier today, and he was just like, yeah, I think the person who is forced to block first loses. Both of these players are known mashers, really good at Abare. Like, they want to press buttons, they want to do what they want. And I think if Isaac was a little bit more seasoned, by his own admission, he says that he's kind of rusty right now. I would give it outright to Isaac, but it's so hard to count out Trill. Trill is just so strong. Even if he hasn't played, since quarantine or something, right? So, yeah, Trill did kind of cook Isaac at CEO Otaku. I think Isaac got a lot stronger than that, though. So, I picked Trill here. I picked Trill. And actually, let me remember. Who did I pick out of this? I think I picked... Oh, I wrote this wrong then. Because that's not a possible outcome. So I gotta fix my theoretical bracket. But I'm picking Trill to get out of winners here. I'm pretty sure I picked Uniclear player. So let me actually do some quick corrections here. So where's Uniclear player at in losers? Plays the the C4, I think second place. That actually changes my bracket up a little bit. Okay. In this case, though, oh, there we go. If I go back to the pool, I'm actually picking Uniclear player out here. I think Oradude drowns. And I think Oradude drowns only because he has to fight Isaac in losers. So, that was my mistake. I think Uniclear player beats Oradude 2-1. And I think Isaac beats Oradude to get out. So, let me do something else on the side. I have to change how the bracket looks. We can move on to A3, actually. I believe that's here. Yeah. Let's see what this was. Oh, this actually changes things quite a bit. Actually, this is kind of crazy. Alright. I gotta change something up. So this pool with Foxev in it, I think is pretty safely cut and paste. I think Foxev moves on through winners finals without too much of an issue. Tino will meet him in semis and lose. That matchup is like a little intriguing because it could be Akatsuki versus Landrakia, or it could be the Lawn Mirror. So like there are two different outcomes that I think can kind of come of that, and that makes things pretty dangerous. So let me see. I'm gonna change something else. That stays the same. Let's see. That stays the same. Who's in that spot? Yeah. I think this is a lot more forgiving of a path. So that puts that there. Shit, that changes too. Okay, so those will swap. Sorry, little impromptu stuff here. There we go. All right, bottom half of the bracket. I think Miller has a pretty strong control over the Gordo matchup. And then outside of here, this is basically like Atlas versus Tanner, I think. I'm pretty sure Tanner can beat Atlas, but like this one's kind of a toss-up. I think Miller, assuming he gets past Casey, will win against the winner of this to go and fight Foxev. Okay, so that's corrected. Sorry. Boop. Oh, I got you. I'm gonna just post the link in that. This is like a whole 12 hours. LTP, I don't believe is going. Here you go. LTP is also pretty rusty. Even if LTP gets there, Miller has historically beaten LTP as well. So here in the Midwest, I think Miller has won the last 2 or 3 matchups that they've played. So I don't think it changes too much. With this being said, I think Tino is like by and far the strongest player in the end of the bracket here. So I'm actually going to pick Tino to get out of this pool. So this is Foxev, Miller, and Tino. Do I have to change this? I do have to change this. Sorry, there's one more correction that I have to make. That changes that. Oh, okay, I think I got that one already. Cool, cool. Alright. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and move to A4. This one is the Masoma pool. With TTK not being there, and honestly I think even if TTK were to have gone, this pool looks far and away Masoma's. I don't even want to say to lose. I think there's such a small outcome possibility in which he loses, right? What's up, Miller? Sigma gonna take TTK seed. I think Sigma versus Vinegar is gonna be interesting. I don't know how much Vinegar has been playing, but I know he had a lot of Japanese experience from a couple years ago being in Osaka. And there are mercs in West Japan. I think it was a matchup that he can control. I actually have Vinegar coming out to fight Stranger, but I have Vinegar losing to Stranger and Sketch losing to Stranger before that. I like Stranger. He's a really strong, or a pretty strong up and coming Batista, but I don't really have any faith in him versus Masoma, unfortunately. So I have Stranger getting into winners finals but losing, Masoma qualifying for the pool. And then I actually picked Vinny to get out of this. I'm probably sleeping on Sigma, and that's a bad idea, but I got Vinny going out of here. I just kind of picked one. Yeah, Flank used to be in here, but Midnight, who is a Yuzu from Michigan, is in here now. Stranger has a Merc problem. Okay. Sigma is really strong, though. Moving on to B1, we got Lufa in this pool, Minx in this pool, Kinect, Kite, Borderlands, Curldine, Burr, and I'm unfortunately not sure who 3XD is, but, and Noctis, excuse me, Noctis is in here as well. This is kind of a fucked up pool too, to be honest. The matchups that I'm particularly interested in here are Norse versus Konek. If I remember correctly, Konek plays Akatsuki, and Norse has struggled against Akatsuki before. I think Noctis should probably beat Minx. Dusky versus Luful, like, is really funny too. Dusky Seth versus Luful Phonon. Squish should beat the winner of that. Squish Noctis, I think, will be particularly interesting. Borderland drop? Okay, yeah. I had Bryce. I had Luna beating whoever came out of that anyway. But Squish, I think, should beat Noctis. So we got Luna versus Curldine. I don't know how many Seths are in Texas, but I think Curldine has been playing other games rather than playing Under Night. Bryce, I think, will win his. And that leads us to Lunar versus Bryce. Bryce has a lot of experience with Swankman, but I think that Luna is just kind of a stronger player. I think he's just kind of gonna better player him before losing to Squish in top 48. Squish is pretty good at blocking Aurier as well. He's not particularly susceptible to 6B. I don't know how Luna is really going to open him up at length. So I think Squish is going to take this. This kind of leads us to the bottom half, where I think Noctis versus Burr is going to be a very, very interesting match to see who qualifies. Matchup is about even between Merc and Gordo. Noctis should have a lot of experience with Merkava, considering that there's like a fair amount of Mercs in this area. I don't know how much on the flip side Bryce has had experience against Gord. I know Splankman does have a Gordo. I'm picking Bryce to get out of this pool though. So unfortunately, Noctis, it seems like you will be drowning in my prediction. I'm happy if you prove me wrong. No offense to Bryce. This pool is very unfortunate because Leah is super sick and Leah's not able to go. So we got Spinach up here. Kekizo should beat Vicky or Inju and Midi. I think Enkidu has what it takes to beat Carmine, but Spinach is pretty amazing. So I think Kekizo is probably done for, unfortunately. On the bottom half, we actually have a lot of interesting matchups. I like EJ. EJ's like actually one of my favorite people in Under Night, but I think Jake is too powerful. So Jake will move through. Then we got Yuno, Ryer, and Erko. Ryer plays Seth, or played Seth last I heard. I think they might have switched after that. Yeah, Leah's not going, I guess. I didn't seed Leah, or I don't think Leah was seeded because she was not expected to be going, and I don't think that she's going to go. Ryer also plays Chaos now. Okay, so Ryer Eriko is a bit more interesting. I don't know how much experience Aneki has against Chaos, but Eriko does have a bit more experience. I'm probably going to pick Eriko, but I kind of danced around it. Yuno's my boy, the golden child himself. I think, for those who don't know, Yuno is from Chile. So he is a Chilean player. He is the #1 player in Chile. Consistently wins their tournaments offline and online. I think he won the Evo portion for Chile as well. He's amazing. If Ryer is playing Chaos, I think that is a perfect warm-up to getting to Jake. Jake is so, like, gut-wrenching. Oh, for South America completely. Thank you, Marmo, for the correction. Right, because he played one of the Gordos, I think, to win that. Yeah. I want in my heart to pick Yuno over Big Horny, aka Jake, by the way. Yeah, Guigles. But I gotta pick Jake. I think Yuno can do it. I think Yuno can definitely do it. But I'm gonna pick Jake for the Spinach Jake matchup. The only reason that I think Jake will win is because I don't know how much experience Yuno has against Chaos of his caliber. The matchup is like 55-45 Chaos, maybe? I don't know how much footage of Yuno you've watched, Gosuda, but, like, I believe in the kid. Yuno is crazy. He's, like, really, really good. His defense is really good. His offense is really good. And Jake doesn't really have suspect defense, I don't think. This will be a really good one. I hope that this one is streamed. The seeding is pretty good. Nonetheless, the match that I'm actually really, really looking forward to is Jake Spinach. Whew, boy. I haven't agreed with all of the projected stuff. So there is a Chaos in that area, but I don't know if... Because, like, there's Brian Kyo in that area, and he beats Brian Kyo pretty consistently. Yeah, really focuses on the offense, but the way that they structure offense isn't quite the same. Jake, I think, is pretty freeform with his offense, but I don't want to spend too much time on this. I'm going to show my bias because I love Yuno. But Spinach Jake is actually one of the most interesting sets in the tournament. Like, this matchup is so cool to me. Like, Chaos versus Carmine. Ghosted probably disagrees with me, but I think this one will be super interesting to watch. I ultimately pick Spinach, though. So, I have Yuno getting out of this, too. Sorry, Kekizo. I think you're really good. You're, like, super sick. But I'm biased. Sorry. I just gotta call it. Spinach 70%. I have Spinach, like, 60. I think 6-4 Spinach. This one here, this is the flank pool. Flank Mavi from the start is, like, really interesting. I think, man, I'd probably pick Mavi over flank here, because, like, Yuzu is pretty sick. But, like, I have Silent winning out of winners here. I heard that Tama, there are some people who think Tama will beat Ethics Buster, and Ethics Buster himself said, I think that he doesn't have a ton of experience against Wagner. Ethics Buster, I think I have going to Silent, and, you know, when they played in Columbus like 2 months ago, Silent controlled the pace pretty thoroughly, and I don't see that changing too much. On the bottom, though, this one right here Brandon versus Carp. I think that if Carp keeps his composure, Carp can absolutely win this. But, oh, no, that's not going to happen, Havard. Sorry. But, yeah, Kai is Brandon. Carp Brandon is an interesting one. But I think Brandon will win it and then lose to Silent. Carp did win the last time at Boston Blue Beat, which makes it even more interesting. 2-0 convincing fashion. Okay, that's good to know. Carp was my minor upset here, but I didn't pick it because I believe in the Psycho Gundam Line. This one actually is the same. Like, I have Carp getting out of this, so this is still kind of agreeing with projections. Also, hello, Mika, return enthusiasts. I'll try to pick up the pace through B and C. This one, I think Cheesy could make some waves here. I don't know how much experience Defi actually has against Nanase, though I know that Cheesy basically has experience against all the characters that Defi plays. Defi, I have to imagine, is expected to pick Hyde here. And I would say Hyde probably has the advantage against Nanase, but I know when I talked to Cheesy, he had a slightly different opinion about that. Ultimately, I have Defi getting to Snappy, and I'm very curious, actually, to see what character Defi decides to play. Most of you who have played against him probably know that Defi has a wide character pool. His best character maybe is Hyde at this point. To borrow perhaps Gosuda's terminology, Chaos versus Hyde is kind of no future. So I'm curious to see what Defi is going to do to try to crack Snappy's defense. I haven't seen too much of Snappy offline, but I remember we had some exhibition series during quarantine time, and Snappy Red Blade went to the final game. I was extremely impressed by Snappy's defensive and offensive awareness. Okay. Snappy is insanely strong. So I think this will end up being kind of a stylistic difference. With Chaos, you can maybe wait on him a bit more, but Defi seems to have been in the lab a lot. He said that he's been practicing Chaos Hyde, so I'm interested to see that. Out from the bottom here, I think I picked Cheesy. Pokecole and Prim can definitely make runs, but I think Cheesy is here. We'll go ahead and move to the big black Rurik pool. So we have Elizon, Datagram, Wish, RK0, Rurik, Azure, Warboss, Vesperio, and Colonel Suave. This one, if I'm being completely honest, I'm the most concerned about Big Black Rurik. I think Rurik will pretty comfortably get through his part of the bracket, but there are a lot of interesting points here. I think Vesperio versus the winner here. I expect Vesperio to beat Colonel Suave. But Azure versus Warboss. This is Seth Wagner. And there's a lot of Seth Wagner online. This is a toss-up. Vesperio against Azure. Azure has a whole lot of weird setups. So it's the difference of if Vesperio can keep his composure or not. Oh, dang. You can't predict Azure matches, but I'm going to predict that Rurik gets all the way through. And I think Wish of the upper half of the bracket. Well, no, Elizon plays a pretty strong Seth, but I think Big Black has a lot of confidence in that. Wish, if he plays the matchup conservatively, has a chance against Big Black, but I'm picking Big Black. But like Big Black Rurik, man, both of these players I think want to make a big statement here. Yeah. Big Black is like really, really patient and conservative against Yuzu. He knows how to thread his spots, but like Rurik also is really good at picking his spots too. Yeah, Wish also has tons of Byakuya experience. Chicago has been an area of Byakuya for a long time. Big Black Rurik. It's weird picking the upset because like, or the matchup upset, because Byakuya Yuzu is not particularly good, but I'm going to pick Byakuya here too. Who did I have coming out of this, actually? Oh, I really picked that. That's actually kind of OD. What was I thinking with that? I actually picked Elizon to get out of this. I didn't pick Wish. I picked Elizon with the upset. I had him beating Azure in the mirror, and then I had him upsetting Wish to get out. I missed Pearly Fade too. Yeah, I picked Win Elizon. So we'll see if that is the case. Did I curse Elizon just now? We'll see. Oh. This is the fucked up fool. I actually... None of this shit is how I've projected this one. I think Wish will do it, but I'm picking Elizon. I think Wish is the stronger player, but we'll see if Wish can keep his composure. This is the fucked up pool as far as prediction goes. So, I actually have Deeps beating Chalk Demon here. Deeps has historically played a lot against Tari. I think he is comfortable playing in tournament, whereas Chalk is a little bit more untested at events. It's purely matchup experience, and the fact that Gord Yuzu is a pretty even matchup as well. Chalk, this is like Chalk's, I think, first big tournament. And that nerve, like those nerves really get to you. On the other side, I have Captain Sugar against CG, and I'm pretty sure I picked CG. So CG Deeps is the match to get out of pools and winners in C2. And I picked Deeps to get out of that too. So Deeps out in winners, CG out in losers, and then Chalk Demon beating Captain Sugar in Yuzu versus Line to get out in losers. So this one is completely not like the predictions at all. This is my first real deviation, all the way in C2. Is it unfounded? Probably. This one I think is pretty simple. This one I think follows prediction. I think 2GIG, Hunta in winners finals. Hunta, I think, can absolutely win this. I don't think that there are NorCal mercs that have the same sort of breadth of like skill set that Hunta does and play the same way that he does. But on the flip side, I don't think that Hunta's played anything like 2GIG before. Seahill, I have getting out in losers here over Dylan, but I think Dylan actually can pull the upset here too. Comedy Boy's not there. CS Tiger's not there. But I think Seahill is absolutely the third strongest player in this pool. So we'll move on to C4. This one is also a sick pool. This one's a super sick pool. So we got Franzen, Omnideek, Maiko, Salty, Zagreus, who is a friend of mine, Grey Faden, TG, Moon Cookies is not going, and Purist Club, and Big Bear. Yep, Moon Cookies is not coming. So I think TG has a pretty easy dash to winners finals. The match here between Salty and Gray is going to be pretty interesting. Unfortunately, I have Salty losing this. I have Maiko beating Gray Faden almost exclusively because he has a lot of experience against 2 Gig. And I don't think that Gray Faden has really a whole lot of experience against Batista either. I don't think that he's definitely winning that. I think that Akatsuki Nanase is such a matchup that the way that Salty plays will allow him success against that. Salty is also, I think, pretty good at catching OS too. Gray, like, sometimes has a tendency to take to the air, and, like, you can't really do that against Akatsuki. Like, not to say doing all that shit above your head against Akatsuki, like, there are ways that you can bait DP and stuff like that, but, like, force function is so strong, jumping at her is so strong, like, there are a lot of tools that Akatsuki has, and it's not just Tatsu over various things. On the flip side here, in losers, I think I have Gray beating Salty again to get out. So I have Gray qualifying for top 48 here. So unfortunately, Salty, I think, will get double eliminated, double jeopardy. Yeah, the double jep. We got the Mario pool: Mega Merc, Shinakira, Murphy, Elemental, Argon, Silicon. Mark is not going. I think Mario versus Murphy is going to be a better set than a lot of people realize if Murphy is practiced. I think Murphy was getting really Sakura is Murphy. I think Murphy was getting really strong, and the difference for him was his confidence. I think I would put this maybe like 65-35. Yeah, he has all of these matchups that he knows the best. I think Shaq is good practice for the Wagner matchup, even if it might not prepare him specifically for Mario. So I think Murphy has a chance if he gets past Akira. Akira's gotten a lot better as well. I think Argon will beat Elemental. The matchup versus Silicon is 60-40, I think, Argon. Because Argon has Sea Hill down there. Silicon is really strong. I think Silicon is, like, super good. But I don't know if he really has too much walled experience. That's, like, the biggest thing. Murphy... I think Murphy did beat Foxov. He beat some Batista. It might have... Was that Foxov? I think that might have been Foxov. We can actually search that up. Let me do that. I'll open a new tab. It had to be Frosty's 2019. Oh, Argon hasn't seen Sea Hill in a while. Okay. Hey, came in 5th there. But not enough about me. That part doesn't matter. Yep. Beat Frankentank and Fox. Oh, Jesus Christ. That was kind of a evil pool. Yeah. So, there that was. Mario over Argon, and I think that Silicon should have a lot of experience against Nanase, so I have him qualifying as well. Murphy is sick, and it's a shame that he got put in a pool where everybody knows his matchup very well. Shoutouts to Murphy. I miss you, Murphy. This one, I'm actually really angry about because I'm over here fighting for my fucking life with Nanase into probably Stardust, Sakatsuki into Star, and Knots is just like, he gets to fight Endeavor more than likely, maybe Wormadon. And it's like, okay, well, we'll just go ahead and move in. That being said, Endeavor, I believe in you. You can beat him. Take the upset, baby. But I'm fighting for my life all through these fucking every round. I don't get any rounds off. This is fucked up. That being said, I'm still picking Knots here. I'm gonna reverse curse him just like I did Silent. I'm gonna push win Randy and then see if I can get him in pools. With that said, I have Star getting out in losers. Yeah, survive streamer. I have circled this one in particular because I've lost a little confidence. The time I lost to Silent was the first time I lost the Gordon tournament in a couple years, actually. So we'll see if that is the start of a trend. Because I don't want to fight through losers either. But, it is what it is. So we'll move past this into D3. Nah, we're going win Randy here. This one is, honestly speaking, Untold's pool to lose. Havard will make a strong run, but I think that Havard has a really rough time winning this one. This one, whoo boy. Untold is hard for me to fight as well, but I don't know. Like, it's really hard to jump at him. It's like really hard to kind of get to the spots where Akatsuki has success. But I think Havard will be pretty well equipped for Untold's tendency to use Force Function A to bust out. And then if Melody is able to make it past Havard, Outnum Hilda just sucks. It sucks, and I've seen magnets get tossed about by the Hildas that are really strong. On the flip side here, I think Spencer, who is formerly KP, he rounds out the top 3 of Minnesota with Shaq, Murphy, and Uniclear Player. I think he will make a big run as well. Shoutouts to Corrigan in this pool as well. Love Corrigan. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Yeah, Shaq and Uniclear Player, excuse me. Shaq, Murphy, and Spencer is top 3, last I recalled, from Minnesota. I think this is going as predicted. My understanding was that Spencer was really strong in the matchup, and I remember having a lot of difficulty beating him consistently in Gord, Aka, and Casuals. Havard, I think your style will work a little better than my style, but I actually have Spencer dispatching my Akatsuki brethren in losers to qualify. So that moves us to D4, the last official pool before we move into top 48. This one has Lotus, Spoinkman, Toxic, Clem, Silver Hydra, and yeah. Being predicted to lose means there's no pressure. It's that 4th seed in the pool, Spoinkman. I have Spoinkman getting to Lotus, but Spoinkman Toxic is going to be an interesting matchup. That being said, I think Spoinkman has a lot of experience against both Seth and against Nanase. So either character that Toxic decides to pick, I think Spoinkman has the seasoned approach for it. So I'm picking Spoinkman here. He's made a lot of strong strides in the last couple months. Will it be enough for Lotus? I don't think so. But we'll see. On the flip side, we have Clem, I think, meeting with Silver Hydra. Clem has been playing Phonon exclusively, I believe. Silver Hydra has been playing a little bit, but not a lot. I kind of expect Clem to get past that and then lose to Lotus. And then that sets us up to El Clasico. Spoinkman knows all about this one. Oh, he's been playing a ton of Merc as well. I don't think he should play Merc against Silver Hydra. I think he should play Phonon instead. But, Spoink Silver Hydra. How many Mercs are there? There's like five or six, something like that. Maybe a little more than that. I do know that Corrigan plays Merc, so that's another one. But, Spoink Silver Hydra. I'm sure Spoinkman has some opinions about this one. Silver Hydra has been his bracket demon for the last couple of events that they've both been at. And I unfortunately see that trend continuing. So I'm picking Silver Hydra to get out of the pool. And that finishes up our prediction portion for Pool D4. So this is what our pools look like. I'll go ahead and pull up some of the notepads that I have. Which one is this one? There we go. We're going to move this up. Bam. Alright. So I'm going to go through this real quick. I'm going to move this to... I'm bad at this. Hold on real quick. It'll get cut off, whatever. So, we got Red, Akimi, and Rydo, Trill, Isaac, and I actually kind of fucked this up. So, this actually should look like this. There we go. Uniclear player Isaac, Foxov, Miller, and Tino, Masoma, Stranger, and Vinegar I picked. Oh, please. Please talk shit. Yeah, we got the notepad. Squish, Luna, and Bryce, Spinach, Jake, and Yuno, Silent, Brandon, and Carp, Snappy, Deffy, Cheesy, Big Black, Rurik, Elizon, Deep, CG, and Troc Demon. This is the I'm off my rocker prediction right here. 2 Gig, Hunter, Seahill, Maiko, TG, that and Gray, Faden, Mario, Silicon, and Argon, Knots, myself, and Star, Untold, Magnet, Spencer, and Lotus, Clem, Silver Hydra. So these are our qualifiers. I also did a fun little bracket portion too. So we'll go ahead and do this. Check out my absolutely shitty job in the comments here. We'll go ahead and present this. Bam. Look at this. Look at what we got here. This is what I was working on this morning. Bam. So we got Casual versus Blooming Lotus, Snappy versus Big Black, Masoma versus Mario, Squish versus Maiko, Trill versus Untold, Silent versus Deeps, Foxa versus Knots, and Spinach versus 2 Gig. Shoutouts to Google Slides. In this one, I actually have Red Blade beating Lotus. I got Big Black beating Snappy. We got Masoma beating Mario, Squish over Maiko, Untold over Trill, Silent over Deeps, excuse me, Foxov over Knots, Spinach over 2 Gig. Yeah, this was like super tedious, but copy paste is your friend, ladies and gentlemen, and those in between, or those who are neither, excuse me. From there, I actually have Red beating Big Black, Masoma over Squish, Silent ever so close to top 8, but can't beat Hilda. Pick an Untold here. And then Fox of bullying poor Spinach yet again to qualify for top 8. So this is what your top 8 qualifiers look like. Red Blade, Masoma, Untold, and Fox of in winners. Let's go through pools here. I don't know how to progress. Oh, you can just click it. Fuck it. We got it. Hey. This one was even more annoying. We'll actually go to the slide here. I'll pull the slide, sorry. Bam. This one in losers was God Hunter versus Aki, Big Horny versus Silver Hydra, me versus Cheesy, Miller versus Elizon, CG versus Outlaw Vinegar, Brandon versus Silicon, Magnets versus Burr, Uniclear Player versus Grey Faden. We got TG versus Isaac, Luna versus Spencer, Argon versus Carp, Stranger versus Trock, Rurik versus Tino, Defi versus Star, Clem versus Yuno, and Rydo versus Seahill. Bam. We're going to hide this now. That being said, we got Hunter over Akimi, Jake over Silver Hydra. We'll just cover each one in turn. I actually have Hunter beating Maiko, beating Mario, beating Silent to qualify. On the flip side, I beat Cheesy here, Miller beats Elizon. We have our classic matchup where Miller and I have to play each other in tournament for the nth time. But I have myself winning there, unfortunately, before I am dispatched by Sir Mario because I can't beat Wagner. With that being said, I had Hunter beating him. I think TG and Toledo saw it. Red Blade was maybe not at his sharpest, but Hunter was actually a single interaction from beating Red Blade in Grand Final Set 1 3-2. I believe he had the lead 2-1 at one point too. So don't sleep on Hunter as long as he's prepared. I think he is pretty equipped for most of these matchups. Yeah, protagonist powers activated. Yeah. I wish we would have been able to upload that. On the flip side here, we got CG over Vinegar. I believe this was Brandon over Silicon. Brandon beating CG. Brandon beating Snappy before falling to Lotus. On the bottom half, we have Magnets dispatching Burr, Grey Faden beating Uniclear Player, and then beating Magnets as well before falling to Lotus, who moves on to beat Spinach to qualify for top 8. I'm sorry, but nah. So we're going to click to the next one because there's a whole nother section. Bam. We have Isaac. Ooh, I didn't like that. We got Isaac here at the bottom versus TG. I believe this is Luna versus Spencer. Actually, hold on. I gotta refer to my own notepad. Argon versus Carp. Stranger versus Trock Demon. So here I had Trock beating Stranger before losing to Argon, who beat Carp. And then who came out of this? Loser of G, which is Knots, who lost to Fox of. I have Knots beating Argon before Big Black takes care of the rest. Actually, excuse me. Before Isaac beats 2GIG and Knots before falling to Big Black to qualify for top 8. At the bottom here, we got Rurik versus Tino. That matchup sucks. Tino probably is better suited picking Landrakia here. I feel like he might make the foolish mistake and stay Akatsuki, and so he will lose to Rurik. Defi over Star. I have Rurik beating Defi, even though this one, I was really unsure about this. I was like really unsure about this. I thought Defi versus Rurik was like a toss-up. I think Defi can definitely win this, and I could see Defi going exactly to where Rurik is. I have confidence that Defi beats Deeps if Deeps shows up in that spot. On the flip side, I'm completely a Yuno shill, and this is my indulgence. This is my damn bracket, not yours. I have him beating you, Clem. I have Rydo beating Sea-Hill. I have Yuno beating Rydo before unfortunately falling to Trill. Trill beats Rurik and then loses another fated matchup to Squish, who moves in and qualifies for top 8. Yeah, this is my script. So, we got Yuno all the way at 17th. And here is the conclusion to our tournament. We have Redblade versus Misoma, Untold versus Foxov. I have Misoma beating Red, Foxov somehow managing to beat Untold in a difficult matchup. Hunter, I think, runs into Lotus in losers, where he'll lose. I have Big Black beating Squish. Squish, unfortunately, getting gate kept by Byakuya. And I actually have the biggest update or upset of the section, which is Big Black beating Redblade. And then moving on, we have Lotus versus Untold Melody. Lotus, you cannot dodge. Oh, you had the same exact top 3? Yeah, the Lotus Untold set is destined to happen. You can't dodge it, Lotus. But you'll win this one. It'll be close. But you'll win this one. Only to lose to Big Black, who will then defeat Misoma in losers finals, reset the bracket against Foxov in a grueling set, and ultimately come out the winner. Oh no, I'm not trying to see it. I just think it'll happen. But Misoma, I think, that's not even the upset of the tournament. I think Misoma will beat Red in winners, though. So we have Big Black as the winner to finish it up. And here is our placing chart. 33rd, 25th, come on. 33rd, 25th, 17th, 3rd place, 9th place, and then our top 8 placing. Winner, Big Black. Runner-up, Foxa 42. The storyline of Big Black winning would be nuts, and I fear that I've cursed him to somewhere around here, maybe 17th. So there you go. These are my predictions. And that's really all I have to say for that. This is going to be super funny. Gotta give him the curse. You know, for first place, I'm about it too. With that said, actually we got ourselves really like through to an hour. This was sick. So I can clip this up quite well.